Welcome into Deseret News Rewind. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart, as always, presented by Heidemann and Associates and brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard.
That's right, Dusty. And just want to remind you, Heidemann and Associates, a full-service law firm. Hey, we're getting ready for fall sports to come. We're going to be back competing for championships. If you are looking for a championship lawyer, there's no better place to go than Heidemann and Associates. Call them, tell them Deseret News Rewind sent you. You'll get a free consultation. They have law offices down in St. George, up and down the Wasatch Front. Give them a call at 801-754-4240. Call to schedule your free consultation today.
Yeah, Justin's done a great job. We want to thank him for his support of Deseret News Rewind. Also, if you're looking for the next change in your life, we talked about this before, go to the Utah Army National Guard. Over 150 job training opportunities through the National Guard. And always, we talk about the signing bonus, the ability to make that change while not hurting you financially. The $20,000 and this signing bonus, go to nationalguard.com. And we want to welcome a new teammate to Deseret News Rewind. There's a reason why we look so sharp in this video, our 30 for 30 video. That is because of our good friends at Black Clover. So presented by Heidemann Associates, brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard, and now outfitted by Black Clover.
That's right, Dusty. And hey, we talk about coaches that have a dapper look to them. Watch out, coaches. We're coming up on you. Black Clover, they've got all sorts of different clothing, men and women's gear, stylish polos. They even have hats. Folks, I'm not going to lie. I love my Black Clover hat. To learn more, you can visit them at blackcloverusa.com or visit their store just off 123rd South next to the water park.
Well, we're excited to get started off in the football season, but to talk about the top 25 teams plus an additional 5 that you'll have to watch for that video as well. That comes out after the top 5 video, the additional 5 to keep your eye on as well. But Dane, when we get ready for this season, we always talk about it's hard to watch the previous class that we have followed go, but it's a lot of fun now to talk about some new kids.
Yeah, and there's a lot of change in this state, Dusty. I mean, you think about the players that graduated last year, some of the holes that left are left to be filled now for this 2020 class, and there's some good youngsters coming up too. We'll see some youngsters that made some impact as sophomores and juniors last year that are going to be coming up and getting some good playing time this year. Let's just all hope that we can get a full season in, huh? Everyone, just a reminder, wear your masks, stay safe. Do your part in our community. We want to make sure that we get a full season, postseason in. Do your part. It helps. It makes a difference. And, hey, let's get playing.
Yeah, if it actually does something or not, it doesn't hurt anything to do it if it does help. And we've got our numbers down. I think we're going to be good to go. But let's just make sure we're doing our part to make sure the season happens all season long. And that goes to the kids, too. Kids are watching this. Be smart. Don't risk the season for a moment of happiness. So, let's jump right into what we're looking at. This video, we're going to go through number 25 through 20 and the top 25 according to Deseret News Rewind. And coming in at number 25, and we had a lot of discussion about this, the Davis Darts.
Look, this is a great sign for Davis because ever since we've done these videos, you know who we reserved the 25 spot for? It's been teams like Weaver, teams like Cypress. No, Cypress was there one year, Dusty.
That's my reason. Sorry, Cypress was there last year.
Kind of the sleeper, right? The sleeper of the year. Typically, we like that number 25 spot. I'm telling you, the Davis Darts, folks. Look, the last couple of years, it's been tough going for Davis. I mean, Dusty, the 2 of their last 3 seasons have been losing seasons. It's time for them to get back on the winning side of things, and they've got the group to do it this year. You look at Trujillo at quarterback, Spute, who's a really talented wideout, Ferguson, Gardner. They got all sorts of talent coming back. Watch out for the Darts in Region 1.
Well, the biggest thing they needed, speaking of Davis, which is kind of shocking to talk about, is just stability at the head coaching spot. If you were a football coach, you were getting hired by the district or something else and moving around. So that consistency need to be had at the coaching spot as well, especially with all the moving and stuff we've had going on with Farmington coming in and some of the other schools as well. Yeah. Number 24, and maybe a little bit shocking, but not when we list out why, the reigning 4A champion, Skyview Bobcats.
Well, I'll tell you what, some people may think it's shockingly low. Some people may think it's shockingly high. You lose a kid like Mason Falslev, I know there's going to be questions there. Lewis Morris also gone off of that state championship squad. But look, you return Carlson at quarterback, and this young man is an absolute stud. You look at 4A, you look in that region, I think he's going to be a problem to match up with. I think the Bobcats are going to be really strong. Collins as well returns for Skyview. I still like the Bobcats. I don't know if they go back to win a state championship, but this is still going to be a really, really good team in 4A you're going to need to keep an eye on.
staying in 4A, but going to the other end of the state. A team on the rise and someone Dane Stewart really got on the stump for when we went through this. That is the Snow Canyon Warriors.
You know, there's a lot of expectations for Snow Canyon this year, and you can read the Deseret News preview. I think that the coaches had preseason them as the region champs. Think about that. In a region with Dixie and Pineview and so many great football teams down there, Desert Hills. They gave it to Snow Canyon, the Warriors, folks. Free at quarterback, Stone at running back. This is a group that was there last year. They had a winning season last year, went 6-5. They lost in the quarters. I think Snow Canyon returns a lot of talent. They lost a couple young men. Mendenhall's gone, Anderson, but they returned some key positions. I think the Warriors look positioned to maybe make a postseason run, Dusty. It's been a while since we've seen them make that postseason run, huh? This might be the year.
2007, Adam Timo, Adam Hine, Kurt Henderson and crew, and Grokreitz, the wide receiver. Hey, by the way, it's Fry. That's one of the most famous names in Santa Clara. Santa Clara Heights is the Fry family land. I mean, so yeah, right by Snow Canyon High School. So it's Fry, the quarterback at Snow Canyon. I got you, Dixie.
Hey, I appreciate that too. We'll get that fixed we'll get that fixed in week 0. So we're good to go now.
Yeah, we're set. But it just allowed us to show, hey, St. George, we know you. I got you. You beat the daylights out of me in 99 and 2000. Provo coming in at number 22, the reigning Region 8 champion. We got a sponsor might be a little mad at us. We got some friends at Provo that are kind of like, what's going on? But Provo, the reigning Region 8 champion, coming in number 22.
Yeah, and for me, look, this is a tough time. We'll talk about this with a couple of teams in our top 25. It's a tough time to have a coaching change. And Coach Chambers, now the head man, I know that he was on staff. You think some things are going to be similar there, but nonetheless, you have a coaching change. And I know that's maybe minimized a little bit in Utah County, but it's still a new offense, a different defense. I mean, you're going to have changes there, and that's going to take a little bit of time, I think, for things to get up to snuff. You had a lot of talent that graduated off that team. You think of guys like Cobb, Tua, Haslam, a lot of guys that graduated. Now they do return some great talent. Their running back Havea is back, McGilvery is back. This Provo team's still going to be really, really tough. But some change there. I think Region 8 is also taking a step up. I think it's going to be a real competitive region this year and a fun one to watch.
And then coming in number 21, right back down to St. George, the Dixie Flyers coming in at number 21.
Yeah, and this is a team that just graduated a lot. I mean, you think of Reggie Graff and what that young man has meant to the Dixie Flyer football program for the last couple of years, and it's going to be tough to replace him. This is really about pedigree, right? I mean, there have been years before where it's like, oh, gosh, Dixie graduates everyone. Probably going to be a down year for the Flyers, and they're up at Rice Eccles. So this is just, hey, at Dixie, it's more about reloading. They're reloading here for 2020.
Well, it's interesting because we look at that. I'm sure we go through the conversation. We have Dixie at 21. They lost Graff, who was 85% of their offense the last couple of seasons. We got some people pounding on tables somewhere. But, Dan, when we look at this first group of 5 that we have here, 25 through 21, it's interesting when you look at how many 4A schools there are in here. It's part of how strong 4A is, and I think it will speak to how good that state tournament's going to be.
I think it's going to be a blast, Dusty. And, you'll have some of the powers back there again. You'll have some potential, not newcomers, that's not the right term, but some non-perennial powers that I think can make some noise this year. And, you talk about a team like Park City last year was so good. They, really jumped on the landscape the last couple of years. And, they've done a great job. That staff has. They graduated so much talent. But you look at, the Dixie and the Snow Canyon, Pineview wasn't in here. We'll see if they play in later on or not. But there's a lot of good teams in 4A, and I think it goes to what you talked about is the parity in that classification, how good we've seen that classification be. And I think it's really registered in our preseason top 25. And the other thing here is these teams win and lose, they'll come up and down. Dusty, we've participated in weekly rankings, and we've had some of those 4A teams get pretty high. And if it weren't for so much talent being graduated, we may have them even higher in some of our preseason top 25. But we'll have weeks to see that play out and see just how good 4A really is.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch what these schedules do too, because what we know perennially, teams from St. George are going to play pretty well. You're going to have a team from Cache Valley that's going to play well. We think it's Skyview as of right now that would be one of the best teams in the state. But what we do know is Green Canyon's going to score points. Ridgeline's going to shock some people early on, but can they hold on to it? And it's going to be very interesting. We do know that Skyview, one thing we did not mention, I want to make sure we mention here, they actually get a transfer. As long as Twitter's accurate and a posted picture, Mr. Larson, who was Do Everything at Logan, I mean, he dons on the bad guy suit and goes over to Skyview. So, and that kid's an absolute stud, two-way star. So as long as Twitter isn't lying and he's not just trying to poke the bear, wink, wink, Grizzlies, it'll be interesting to watch what happens there. So thoughts on our first 5, let us know, 25 through 20, 25 through 21. Also, go check out our other videos. We're going to count all the way through the top 25 plus 5 teams to watch in the state of Utah. And then we'll also give you another bonus video as well. Don't worry, 3A, 2A, 1A, we got you covered right here on Deseret News Rewind. For Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us watching Deseret News Rewind's top 25 plus 5 videos on Deseret.com.